Hey everyone, it's Josh here. So I've been reading a lot about oil leaks on my sled, and I was hoping I really didn't have one, but I did. So what we're gonna do is do the almighty and have some fun and pull the motor. So what you're gonna want to do, this is what we're gonna start off with. I'll shoot myself doing it. You're gonna want to get a spot like this. I set it all out with carpet, however you want, because you're gonna have a lot of parts. Alright, so all of our plastics are off. Now we got to pull off our cowl around our center console and our center console. So what you're going to do there, you're going to need a flathead screwdriver and a hammer. If you don't have the tool, pull off your gas cap and this ring right here. I already loosened it, so you're going to take the hammer and tap the end of your screwdriver and tap it off until that spins, and you can spin it off. Pull that off, pull this off, trim piece, set those aside. You'll know where that goes. You can put your gas cap back on now. Now that you've done that, well, you have your flathead out for that. Take it, get behind here and push. You have to push down. I got to use two hands for this, so I'm just going to show you, but you got to get down, and there's a little clip in there. One there, one there. You'll see the little two indentations, and that dash will flip out. There's wiring on the back of it. Undo that wiring, and then we can get to pulling this this trim piece off here. This is what you're pushing down on right here, right there and there. This will come up. You can pull on this harness. Try and be gentle with it. That pulls right off. Set that somewhere safe. Set that there for now. And then what you gotta do is pull this off. This wraps around here and kind of just clicks into your air box here. There you go. There's two tits right in here. There you go. That pops. Do that to the other side. That'll come off. Alright, now that this is off, you get in here, unplug your two headlights. That's all gone. And then once you lift up, you're still going to have your wiring for your key fob here. And if you have a heated visor, it'll be in there too. So what you're going to do is go around and make sure these are unclipped, one on each side. Some of them will have a little strap right here. Mine's broken. Then you can just go ahead and pick up on there. Pull your sock out of your intake boot out of here. You can start lifting up there. You got two connectors here. They're not the same, so don't worry about mixing them up. Pull them apart. That's for your visor and your DESS switch, or whatever they call them now. Watch your wiring up in here. Pull up, pull out slightly. Feed your wires through here. Careful not to damage that. There you go. Your console's off just like that. So that to the side, and we're about 10 minutes in now, and we've got the sled this far. Now what you're gonna do is pull off these trim pieces right here. They just sit right on top of your gas tank bolt, so pull out, then lift up. You got two of those. I believe those are 13 mil. Pull those out. Get a 10 millimeter wrench, or maybe two 10 millimeter wrenches, or a 10 millimeter wrench in a socket. Undo this bolt right here, and this one, or these two. And then we're going to get to doing the gas tank. Right, so with that stuff loosened on I said, you can give your tank a yank back a little bit like that. you're going to undo your vent line here. And then if you have a 2012, I believe it is, I think they changed to a different sending unit, but you'll have a plug in here. Mine has been changed by somebody in the past. They put a fuse on it and stuff, so I imagine they might have broke it when they pulled the tank off in the past, because I know the oil tank was replaced on this once. But anyways, it's got this connection on it now. That's for your sending unit. Come around here, give those bars a yank up, give this a yank back, and you can pull off your fuel line here. Just keep that up high and it won't leak. Then you got another one here for your fuel pump wiring. There's a tit on the bottom that you got to pull down. Pull that out. There you go. Now you can take off your tank. Alright, so now with all that done at the back there, for now, we're going to take off the exhaust. So I'm told, I've never pulled this out before, that you can leave your manifold on. So you got 2 springs on the bottom, 2 on the top here. You got 2 right here. 1 right there. 1 there. And I thought there was another one, but I guess not. Just that one there. Those two. We'll pull off the exhaust system. You can pull that off and we'll get going from there. Alright, so now take a 13mm socket and you're going to pull off this bearing holder here. It can stay on there. You might have to loosen off the 10mm beside it. That's for your brake loop, just to get it out of the way there. Then that's loose. Now come around the other side here. You got to take off your chain case inspection cover here. I don't really have a right or wrong tool for this, except be kind of gentle. Pop that off. Get that out of the way. You're going to need a 13mm over here, I believe. Crack this shaft free here. Then we're going to take a long 1/4" extension and put it in there. It'll go in between where that bolt is and it'll bottom out on the end. Then give it a whack with a hammer and that whole shaft should just slide right out. And if you want, you can use an extension that you're not using. But before we do that, we're going to loosen our chain case bolt right here, whatever size that is, 5/8 or something. Loosen it off just to give your chain some slack for when that shaft slides out so you can get it back on nice. So we'll go do that now. Alright, so you give your extension in there and get a hammer like that so you can give it a good whack. It just needs that one whack and then it'll go in there and become loose. That'll hold your the top gear up. It won't fall down, but it will stay up there better. Pull that out. I'd recommend putting anti-seize on it. That's what I did last time I put it in, so it would come out easy. Alright, so now pull off your computer. I just pulled it off right there. T25 Torx. Slide off your connectors and it'll come off. I'm also going to take this frame off now. It's just another 10mm bolt through there you pull out, same as before. And then we're going to get to pulling our intake. They're T25s also, and we'll also undo your connectors here so you can pull off your intake. So now we're going to pull off a throttle body to get that out of the way first. So undo your throttle cable to 10mm, all your sensors. You got a line for your coolant overflow. Goes back here. Or actually maybe not, it's maybe a cooler. And then it goes back into the motor over here. So that's what that is. Okay, so we'll pull that stuff off and get your throttle body out of the way. Alright, now with your T27 you got a bunch of these bolts. You get in there and take out all your intake manifold bolts. Your computer base can stay if you have a T27, that'll go through there and get to there, but I only have these socket ones. So you have to, I just left the one on over there, swiveled it out of the way and you can get to it. After that, your intake manifold is free then. By the looks of it, there might be something down below holding it too. I can feel something. So we'll try and work and see what the heck that is and go from there. Alright, so that's all out. We're gonna take our coolant lines off now. This one here, it can stay. This one here has to come off, so you either undo it back here, which I'm not gonna do. I'm gonna undo it right up here, right there, and right there. And I hope that those are the only two coolant lines that you gotta remove, I believe. Then we'll take these 10 mils off here for this bar. This piece right here, the one going over here. And that should be all until we start doing motor mounts, and then I think we can give it a yank over here and up. I'm hoping. Let's see what we can do. So we're gathering a nice pile of parts here. So this is your motor mount that you're going to undo. They're all 13mm bolts. One has a nut, the one up front. My brake was in the way. I actually had to just crack the line and move it just so I could get this bolt out. I put them back in here just so I know where they are. Those two. That one there for a motor mount. And then be careful when you're pulling it out. You got this wiring right here. And then I'm going to cover up my intake before I pull it out. And then you have your motor mount right here. You also have to undo, there's a 10mm here on your starter, and under your battery. Obviously you should have done that at the starting. I did it about halfway through. One of the things I forgot, but no big deal. Do all your appropriate wiring, get it off to the side. There's a lot of them with clips on them and stuff. I marked my coil for my coil packs, the wiring. That's one. And then I just marked them with slots 2, 3, just because the wiring doesn't really line up. So hopefully that'll help me put it back together correctly and have the right firing order. So yeah, we'll undo that 10mm starter bolt and for the wiring, and we'll do the other motor mount and hopefully get this sucker yanked out. I'll let you know how it is to pull out by hand by myself. Alright guys, it's out. I spilled some coolant in there, which can all get cleaned up, but all the wiring I kept over there. The only thing I didn't tell you is the one wire going to the very front. I'm not even sure, I didn't look at what sensor it is, but it's the, I don't know what it is, it's only one tab, so anyways, that goes to the front, you gotta take that off, but otherwise it's fairly straightforward. I lifted it out. I put this 2x4 here just to kind of set the clutch on and help me slide it so I wouldn't damage anything, because there's some stuff out of the back of the motor that sticks out a bit. Otherwise it went not too bad. So yeah, that's how you yank a motor out of one of these 1200s. I think I started around 11, 12. Yeah, it's about just over 2 hours to do all this. Now we'll look at the motor and see if I can find any oil leaks and fix up, hopefully it's one of those O-rings on the oil tank, and then put her back in and hope for the best.